be like, what are you talking about?
It's below
You don't
zero.
know cold.
That's David, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty bon.
Awesome. David, can you hear us? Cool.
Gray's on.
He
I don't
oh,
know what's David.
Gray is on. Okay. Come on. We are trying to get all of our guests together. This is a really fun bring around
You
the
said Greg is
rosy
on?
of I think so. Are you on?
I'm here.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Pleasure
Greg
to
is
meet you.
working with 50/50 Co-op 50. Is David there?
Yeah, give him 1 second.
Oh no, okay,
He's
no,
coming
no.
on.
Hey, Greg, David is going to be on in a few minutes. Could you give some background on 50/50? You've been doing the calls every night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday night, and training on Saturday.
Oh, my
so he's really
goodness.
good at this. Greg Baldwin.
God
Greg,
bless.
thank you very much for joining us. Tell us more about this whole new movement in the last couple of weeks. It looked like it's going to explode. 50/50. Tell us about that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're very, very fired up when you really think about the fact that globally we live in unprecedented times. And this was a project that I had looked at a couple years ago, and it came right back around in my life, and it was the absolute perfect vehicle. And basically what ended up happening was I looked into something that President Obama had signed into law in 2012, which was called the Jobs Act. And it allowed average everyday people and companies to raise funds through online portals from non-accredited investors, which roughly accounts for like 97% of the population. And I'm not sure if your viewing audience understands what an accredited investor is, but an accredited investor is someone that has an annual income of $200,000 or $300,000 joint with a significant other plus a $1 million net worth. So by law, this crowdfunding activity, only they were participating in the 3%ers. And so in 2012, when President Obama signed this Jobs Act into law, it just opened up the floodgates. And then we saw proliferation of online crowdfunding portals like GoFundMe, Indiegogo, and Kickstarter. And then Co-op 50/50 put their hat in the arena. And the differentiating point with Co-op 50/50 versus the traditional is that a lot of people don't know this, Russell, but 80% of people never reach their crowdfunding goals.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's so subjective and there's a lot of biasness, I mean, people have different reasons why they need to raise money. The beautiful thing about Co-op 50/50 is the fact that all givers simultaneously become receivers. And so essentially it removes the biasness, and it's creating a situation where the donations via this vehicle is not just for tragedy, but also for strategy, if you will. And it's really blessing a lot of people in the process. So we're fired up. This thing is going to go viral.
Yeah, David is really excited about it. I talked to him today, and David is with us, I believe, right?
Yes. David, are you able to hear us?
Yeah, can you see me and hear me?
Awesome. We
and,
see, we hear
and,
you.
and you sound great. Come on, go ahead. Come on, talk to us.
And by the way, Greg, I didn't know you were going to be here, but I'm glad you are. Greg's doing awesome. I think you've been on a couple of webinars as well, haven't you, Russell?
Yes.
Yeah, and yeah, Greg's doing an awesome job in helping spread the word of Co-op 50/50. So yeah, we're real excited. And the last time that we spoke, I had indicated that we launched the 50/50, the Co-op 50/50, we did the rebranding, and when you launch something or relaunch something, it's always a moment where you need to correct this or correct that because you have thousands of people that are using the system. Now we have every aspect of the system now working perfectly. And I've looked at it and looked at it and looked at it. There's absolutely nothing more that we can add to this system to make it any better than it is. We actually have the perfect system for that particular platform. So we are super, super excited to have all that in place and all that ready to go right now. People like Greg are using it, experiencing it. They're seeing how the system works. They're seeing how, you do something right now, you receive something right now, and you can take your funds out and have immediate access to your funds. So it's just an awesome system.
Mm-hmm. Listen, you have a track record, even before Indigo, Kickstarter, and all the thousands of others. You out there, you started somewhere around 2002. And talk about that, the kind of people that you brought to the table and the kind of capital that you raised and put out there for everybody all across the world. Let's talk about that.
Well, that's really interesting, actually, and the capital part is the most interesting part because in 2001 I was actually homeless, I had no home. I was sleeping in cars for a while, and I was able to sleep in a friend's basement. And my cousin gave me a house. And I actually developed crowdfunding at that point in time while I was homeless. And, you know, I didn't know who to go to as far as capital goes. And every time that I did go to somebody previously, they always wanted more than that. So I actually got the system going. I got a lucky break. In the last $8, I made some flyers, put them on some cars, made a couple of sales, made some more flyers, put them on some cars, and eventually it gave me enough money to launch the very first crowdfunding platform back in 2001, which was Five Star Exchange, and that's what led us to here today.
Isn't that always how it goes? You just flyers and more flyers, and you keep getting the nicer, glossier paper flyers.
And you've been talking to him lately. He was talking about he's going to do 10x on this thing from 50/50 to a larger platform, if you will.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
So what is the conversation? I've been keeping up with the conversations.
I don't know,
Well-
D. Yeah, I don't know how much I'm allowed to let on.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know, when I launched 50/50, I'd already been working on something else, something that's way bigger than 50/50. 50/50 is 100% needed, because just like in the vehicle industry, you know, you have flatbed trucks, you have four-wheelers, you have luxury sedans, you have sports cars, you have a bunch of different types of cars in the vehicle industry. And it's the same thing in the business industry. You know, when you have a business model, you look at Microsoft, for example. You've got Word, which serves one purpose, and they got then they've got Excel, which serves another purpose. Same thing with us. The 50/50 concept, the purpose that serves is if you need funds in your pocket today, or if you need $1,000 by Friday, or $100,000 in the next 30 days. 50/50 serves that need. Not only does it serve that need, it serves that need very, very well. However, with that same system, you can receive millions of dollars, but at the same time, you don't have a predictable outcome. You can't plan how you're going to buy a house, because you don't know exactly whether you're going to receive $1,000 this week, $10,000 this week, or nothing next week. So I needed to create a system for two purposes. One, that 95%, and two, that gave people an opportunity to have a predictable income. Meaning that if you did something this week, you could expect the exact same thing or more next week. And that's what the new system is. The new system is just, it's awesome. That's all I can say. Is that it is awesome. I will give you a couple of hints.
This is my favorite part, is the hint guessing.
Yeah, I will give you a couple of hints. I will tell you that it's only $1 a day, right? So everybody can afford $1 a day.
Already sold.
I'm sold.
Water, right?
I love it. I'm like, I work at a radio internship. I'm here for it. I can do that. You guys can do that. We got this.
Oh, yeah, no question. Absolutely. So,
And then the second thing is that it will give you an ever-increasing income, meaning that your income is going to continue to grow day after day after day, and it will last forever. The new system will outlast us. The same as 50/50. 50/50 will outlast us as well. And the new system will outlast us. When we're done, our children and their children will be living off of the benefits that we're going to receive from my new system. And I truly believe that it will create the largest mass distribution of wealth in the history of man.
One, I want to be on the beta list, because that sounds like my dream come true.
right, of
Just
course.
afford things. But two, that is amazing. Besides the fact that we've talked about how 50/50 built on, you can help homeless people because you can set up co-ops for them. But now there's even more of a way where if you can find someone who maybe not homeless but can afford $1 a day, that is getting them through. That is them being able to pay for their affordable housing situations. That is them being able to pay for their food. That is such a huge thing, besides, me wanting to pay rent.
And that's the thing, right? So if you look at crowdfunding is awesome, because you can use crowdfunding to raise money for virtually anything, whether it be for personal use, business use, charitable use. The problem with most crowdfunding platforms is that you need to know a lot of people. You have to have a lot of time, and only one person gets all the money. The new crowdfunding platform, so therefore you're going to have, as Greg said earlier, only 80%, only 20% of crowdfunding campaigns ever get funded. In our new system, what's going to get funded? And we're going to turn givers into receivers for the first time ever. If you're a church, you need what we're doing. If you are an individual who wants to pay their monthly bills, you need our system. If you are a business who wants to get a big idea funded, you need our system. If you are somebody who just wants to sit around and loaf around on the beach all day and, you know, drink wine and watch the surf come in, you need our system, right? Yeah, exactly, right? So
that's my kind of system.
Right. So we're really, I am really, and by the way, it's not a beta system. This system I've been building since 2006. It just wasn't ready for prime time in 2006.
Since 2000, and you had this idea that long. One, visionary. Thank you for your work. Because in 2006, I wasn't, no, that was never on my mind. Even knowing crowdfunding back then, I would never been able to think of something like this. And I don't even know all the intricacies that go into it.
Of course.
So that is incredible.
Yeah,
Yep.
and think about it. So I went from being homeless, and so far the systems that I've built, including the new one that I'm putting out, I've spent $9 million and haven't had a single investor.
God, that is, you've stunned into silence. That's hard to do in this room. That is
So it's not a
amazing.
beta. This thing is tested and fully ready to go. This is, when we come out of the gates, we're coming out of the gates in a very big way.
You are Shark Tank's dream.
Really, I see. And I put him in touch with Les Brown the other day. What was that conversation about, Les Brown, the guy who's a motivational speaker for the last 30 years, 35 years? How did that go?
And I got to thank you, Russell. That was truly awesome. So Les Brown is one of my three most admired people in the world. Muhammad Ali, Barack Obama, and Les Brown. So you putting me in contact with Les Brown. We spent over an hour on the phone together, and he sent me a recording of the call. I'm not going to get into depth on that in that recording that we had, but it's one of my top 10 moments.
Isn't that something excellent?
That's really
That's
sweet.
Yeah.
I love that.
By the way, Dave, why don't you tell your father and The Rock's father are brothers? Talk about that a bit.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not something I talk about very often, but yeah, the Rock. By the way, I do look better.
Okay.
Wait. You've been on, wait. So no, I'm mad. I'm so mad.
My biological dad and The Rock dad are brothers, which makes The Rock my first cousin. And I didn't know until I was 34, believe it or not, because my mom and dad got divorced when I was 2. Or separated when I was 2. I never really got to know about it until I was 34 and got reacquainted with that side of my family. That side of the family was awesome. My stepdad I couldn't ask for a better dad, and so The Rock and I are cousins, and it's really funny because they say that the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, and like some of the characteristics that The Rock has are some of the same characteristics that I had long before I even knew that we were cousins. It's kind of interesting.
100%. Because let me tell you, I'm such a huge Dwayne Johnson stan since his wrestling days. Like,
oh yeah.
Can I tell you, I'm so in love with him. I hate wrestling. I hate it. I would watch just for Dwayne Johnson. I love him so much. So genuinely amazing. But you do, because he is, and I've always said since we first got to talk with you on your show, you're an amazing, intelligent, completely giving and charitable man who you've obviously created all these amazing crowdfunding things. I'm like, oh, there it is. Yep, first cousin with Dwayne Johnson, who is exactly charitable and amazing. Those are some magical, wonderful genes right there.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I was reading equity.
He came from $7 to, megastar. I came from $2 where we are right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you're getting the job done. Now I'm really excited because I was just looking at the cryptocurrency today, and 10 years ago, as a matter of fact, when I look at this chart, it says in 2010 the coin was 3 cents. Today
Yes.
it's $34,000. So a lot of people didn't see that. We kind of missed that, but your system will catch us up. Is that what I hear?
Well,
For
we're
those who-
utilizing the crypto. Well, I'm utilizing the cryptocurrency, and it's really interesting that you bring cryptocurrency up, because I remember one of my programmers, who's still with me, of course, back in 2012, saying, "Listen, like, because we had a system and we were looking for different payment methods." He said, "Why don't you use cryptocurrency?" I said, "What's cryptocurrency, right?" And I sort of brushed him aside, and it wasn't until about 2.5 years ago that I really started taking cryptocurrency seriously. Now we've got our own wallet, which is awesome. So now you can buy in over 100 different cryptocurrencies. It also allows us to pay out without having the traditional method. So cryptocurrency is here to stay. It isn't going away. It's very, very interesting. And yeah, it's here to stay. And we're going to utilize it in a big way.
So your wallet is on the blockchain then? Yes or no?
Yes.
The wallet that you created. The blockchain is not going anywhere.
No,
And then you say
absolutely
you take at least 100 different currencies. Is that right? Your wallet.
Well, blockchain is rather interesting. Blockchain is not necessarily, as a matter of fact, it's not a currency. Blockchain is a methodology
Right.
to be able to track the history of something from where it began until where it ends. So what blockchain does is it allows you to keep track of everything and monitor everything in a nice systematic way, whether it be cryptocurrency or whether it be products or whether it be produce. You can monitor using blockchain.
And there are so many different types of cryptocurrency
Oh, yeah.
out there right now.
Yeah.
I just did a show on Bitcoin alone and had my absolute head spinning. So to think of all the hundreds of other cryptocurrencies, that must be so much easier.
Yeah, you were talking about somebody in West Palm Beach who was working with Bitcoin.
Yes, Michael Macchia, who I'm trying to bring onto our show too. He's you've seen him on Twitter. He has that giant Bitcoin tattoo on his neck.
Oh.
He works with my boyfriend, and he was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh, do you really have the tattoo?" And he goes, "No, I really have it. It hurts so badly. Here it is."
Is that right? Okay. Right.
But he knows everything about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Dave,
I'm not know everything about it.
how can we get ready for the involvement in the process? The average.
Well, now that I got the 50-50 where it's pretty well running on running smoothly. And by the way, now that I've got it where it is, we shouldn't have to touch the 50-50 system for the next 10 years. So it should be basically on autopilot. And now I would say that 7 to 10 days we'll be releasing the new system, starting to bring people in.
Yeah. You know, Greg Baldwin has been doing programs every night in the week, 7 nights, the whole month of July, every night, and then training on Saturday. Greg, how do you see things in terms of just being associated with this whole thing called 50-50?
Well, it's refreshing to, I consider myself a visionary as well. And, David and I, we've been able to talk, on a regular basis. And he's one of the sharpest business minds I've come across in quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw this, I was able to see the same vision that he had, especially coming from the marketing platforms, if you will, in the network marketing space. I'm a silent partner in some traditional businesses as well. So this isn't the only thing that I do, but I saw the financial sense that it makes, and I like helping people. And my platform and my brand is Smarter Than Money, and I see this as a way to help people, on a grassroots level to begin to become smarter than money. So I just share his vision, and we're really going to take this thing to the world. And as more and more people hear about it, this is going to become a household name.
Well, the beginning of Bitcoin was interesting. The beginning of this is really interesting. You think?
I think it's really exciting to be able to be on the precipice of something like that, because I remember
Yeah.
people talk about, when, Facebook first started,
Mm-hmm.
when exactly Bitcoin first started, when all these major multi-million-dollar companies first started. Oh, I wish I had invested. Oh, I wish I got to see the beginning. And it's so cool to
Mm-hmm.
see the beginning of this, what I think in the future is going to be a huge, obviously international, but just out of proportion company
Mm-hmm.
that is going to do so much good in the world.
Right. I was looking at Amazon, and they have a video on Amazon called Capital C. Capital C. You might want to watch that. But anyway, the gentleman Harry, I think Weinstein or Weinberg, if you will, at Harvard University says, this is going to be so big. This whole crowdfunding deal.
I'm sure.
He said you won't even understand all the nuances and delineate all the aspects of it for the 50 or 100 years down the road. He said that's how big it's going to be. So we are the right price at the right time.
Yeah.
And David, we want to thank you for leading us.
Absolutely. And we
Yeah,
couldn't
thank
have asked of someone smarter, kinder, more giving than David to lead us through that.
So we have a couple of minutes left.
Yeah.
How would you want to wrap this up? What would you want to say? What would
Well,
you want
one,
for
I
the
want to
people?
say
For people.
it is so cool. Just as a side note, too, I remember when I did one of my first shows with you when we had David on, he was like, oh, in the way future, we're going to be doing this thing. It's really cool. And being able to get these little hints of what it is to now seeing more and more and getting more little hints and seeing 50-50 come to, like you said, you won't have to touch it for years, which is something most major companies still can't do. They're constantly updating for this to just run, and then to see your new system coming out. And just like you said, seeing it from basic to absolute luxury brand, cars equivalents is amazing. And I do feel very lucky that I get to be here to witness this, because I truly believe that crowdfunding is going to be the next,
yeah.
Bitcoin superstar, is going to be the next whatever, superstar rocketing up.
I would suggest to people, this is a good book. It's Equity Crowdfunding by Nathan Rose, but I got about 5 other books at home. Just going through it every day, it's just an awakening
Yeah.
of what's coming down the pike in terms of how we can position ourselves for financial independence and security and time freedom. So that's very important for many people. Yeah.
Especially people in my generation. Get on it.
Right. So David, how would you close us out?
Here's what I can tell you is that what you see as far as crowdfunding goes is going to be totally different from what you see as far as crowdfunding in about 6 months from now. Crowdfunding, like you had mentioned, has the potential to change everything about money. And 6 months from now, you will see everything about money way different than you do now.
Don't say that. I'm just starting to get a grip on it now.
And
I'm
Greg,
just starting to wrap my head around it.
Greg, any closing remarks for us in terms of how you see things?
I really think that this is going to tip the scales of economy. I think that it's the light at the end of the tunnel in a world that so desperately needs a little bit more control over their outcomes, whether it be financially and socially. I think that crowdfunding, more specifically Co-op 50/50, is that answer to what I like to call a self-driving economy or ecosystem.
Great.
I love it. It's really what you need. And I think it is very important, especially after these recent events last year, that we do need a self-driving economy. I think that is one of the biggest things that people are starting to realize.
Well, there are about 800,000 nonprofit organizations looking to raise some funds. And there are the schools, colleges, 4,500 colleges and universities out there that need for more funds, and the students need to pay off those loans.
Yeah.
So it's an opportunity. The time has come.
And it's all the littler nonprofits too. It's the homeless shelters.
Sure,
It's
that's
the
true.
animal shelters.
True.
It's the small businesses that are, they support the family. And because of COVID, they were, taken out of the family's hands. This is a huge step for them. And both these programs, I know Co-op 50/50, and I'm sure this new one, are going to be huge steps towards being, like you said, financially independent.
More importantly, right now, 40% of the North American well, not Canadian, but 40% of the U.S. population right now, they're trying to figure out how they're going to put food on their table for their very next meal. So what we're about to bring to the forefront couldn't happen at a better time and a more needed time.
I 100% agree.
Okay.
It is that perfect crossing of the perfect timing, the perfect events, and the perfect system.
Great. Well,
I love it.
that's it. I can't think of anything else.
I know. Thank you so much. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, David, for all of your information. I'm so excited to hear about, you said the next week or so, 10 days or so, the new system is going to be out. So I cannot wait to hear about that. And thank you, everyone, so much for watching. And I hope we can catch you next time.
I'll be here. Thank you.
Thank you. And don't mess up crowdfunding too much yet. I'm still, again, wrapping my head. Go slowly. I'm going to need like a slow walkthrough on it.
Easy.
Thank you. I like easy. Easy's nice.
He's
Have a
nice.
great night, everybody.
Thank you, David, for being here. Thank you, Greg, for being here. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Greg.
All right, take care.
You have been listening to New Business on Main Street with your host, Russell. If you have a business idea and want to share it on the air, call Russell directly at 561-302-2588. That's 561-302-2588. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers.